Hey everybody, it's Max McAllister from Traction Dynamics here today with another one of my kind of public service announcements just to help make sure that you stay safe on your Honda Goldwing in the 2018 plus model category. I've gone over things I've found that have been problems with a lot of the steering, remote control steering components. One of them being the hollow aluminum steering spindle that's on all year models of bikes. They were very problematic for 2018 model owners, as Honda had inadvertently applied the same torque to the crown nut that you would apply to a previous model Goldwing, which had a steel spindle, and that torque is too much for the aluminum threads to bear, so it would damage the threads on that spindle, and the handlebar assembly would come loose on the spindle itself. So we make a couple of things. Now we've only heard of one or two instances of spindles actually breaking. Frequently it's related to trailering in some way, but just having the motorcycle hit the ground can be a problem. So not in necessarily a casual tip over. Possibly it can happen in a tip over, but if you've actually just been moving and maybe fell over in some sand or slipped in some oil at the gas station, and if your handlebars hit the ground, this is the problem I want to address. So we make a product called a steering safety pin that drops down in the hollow bore of the Honda aluminum spindle. It makes it so that you can actually break the spindle. All steering control would be lost if you didn't have it, but with my pin installed in it, the motorcycle can be operated normally until you can get to a dealership and get it repaired. I've actually been granted a utility patent on that product by the U.S. Patent and Trade Office, so that's now a patented item. And it's like 25 bucks and takes 5 or 10 minutes to install. Everybody should put that product on their bike. We actually also sell a stainless steel duplicate of the Honda spindle that it would border on impossible to ever break in any way. And couple that with the pin, and the steering bars are much more rigid and just bomb proof. It's a small upgrade. You don't have to have it. The pin I would recommend to anybody. But so we had an owner send us some photos of his bike where he had an instance where he low-sided his motorcycle and his handlebar was bent. And so that was quite obvious to him. So he replaced his handlebar and, the other damaged cosmetic parts. But he was riding his bike a week or two later, and the handlebars came loose while he was riding and started rattling on the steering spindle. So when he got home and he took his bike apart, upon inspecting the steering spindle, here's what he found. This is the same spindle, just rolled over on itself 180 degrees apart. So if you see in this photo, the spindle is almost touching the workbench here. And if you see in this photo, the same spindle rolled 180 degrees. It's got a 3 millimeter gap or something there. So this spindle is significantly bent at the point where the bearings are located in this area. This is where the adjuster nuts are, and this is where the damage occurs. So, this could be cracked internally. We don't even know. So he replaced this with our part, but he wanted me to have these photos because, for this exact reason right now, I'm sharing this guy's experience with you that, if your bike hits the ground and you've hit your handlebar, you can almost take it to the bank that your steering spindle has been damaged and should be replaced, almost certainly, at a dead minimum inspected, removed completely from the bike where you can spin it on some sort of a dial indicator and find out if it's been damaged in any way. So that's just my little warning for you today. A little, I've had a tip over. What all do I need to inspect to make sure my bike is safe? Bent handlebar, almost certainly you bent your steering spindle. And why will it bend? One last reason, because it's virtually completely unsupported. On a bike with a telescopic fork, there's obviously two giant fork tubes that come up in that are all clamped together that make this a strong assembly. On your bike, the remote controls, I call them, for the 2018 Plus, none of this is here. It's just this plate with handlebars bolted to it. So you have two giant levers out here on the end of this assembly with nothing supporting it in any way. So that's another reason the stainless steel steering spindle just makes it more rigid, particularly if you're a guy who likes to pull himself, has a hard time getting on and off the bike. If you really yank on your bars a lot, that's a product that you'd benefit from. So anyway, my name's Max. Please give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with more great content soon to try and keep you and your Goldwing going down the road safe and having fun.